Hello everybody. It's time for another installment of Tips and Tricks for Risk of Rain 2, this time covering the absolute most popular questions I get in practically every stream and on every video. If you haven't seen my previous tips video, which covers any and everything to do with how a run progresses in terms of difficulty, buying items, spawning the boss, and more, definitely check that video out before this one. Here I'll focus on topics that will help you become an expert in all of your runs on any character. Let's get right into it. We'll start here with the most frequent question. What is one-shot protection and how does it work? One-shot protection, or OSP for short, is a mechanic built into the game whose full description is this. So long as you are at or above 90% of your combined max health, you cannot die to one instance of damage. Now, there are a couple specific terms packed into that definition, so let's break them down. Number one, it makes the specific indication of your combined max health. Currently, there are three forms of a health pool: your regular HP, your shields, and your barrier. However, only two of the three, regular HP and shields, count towards your combined max health, as barrier acts as a barrier to your health pool and is not actually a part of your health. So combined max health is your total amount of regular health plus your shields. Number two, it clearly states that you cannot die to a single instance of damage. Basically, this means that if you take massive damage and are sitting at 10% of HP due to one-shot protection, if you take another hit the very next frame, you can die. There is no buffer to OSP. As soon as you get to the 10% HP threshold, you are instantly vulnerable to death. As you may be able to see now, attacks that hit multiple times, such as lesser and greater wisps — lesser wisp attacks actually fire a very quick 3-round burst, I just learned this — are pretty dangerous because if the attack's hits are staggered, even if only by a single frame of gameplay, you have the potential of dying. Okay, now that you know exactly what OSP is, why does it matter? Is it even relevant? Well, for the super in-game, it has obvious benefits because literally a single hit from a normal golem past like the 2-hour mark does enough damage to kill like 10 huntresses, and one-shot protection will definitely save your booty there. But the reason why OSP is so important to know and work around is due to a little lunar item called Shaped Glass. I've gone over this item in quite a few videos now, and I have a full breakdown of its function with OSP in my item and equipment tier list, so go check out that video at this timestamp to see its full explanation. But please make note that the shield generator item is now cut in accordance with your Shaped Glass, meaning it does not mess up OSP anymore. Alright, the gist of Shaped Glass is this: it cuts your health in half for every stack you have. Get 5 or 6 stacks, and your combined max health will be sitting somewhere around like 30. You are now practically immortal with the correct forms of mitigation and healing, namely capping 100% crit chance with a few harvester sites, a reju rack or two, and a gnarled wood sprite with the gesture and a few fuel cells. This is because one-shot protection will keep you alive from any hit, regardless that your total HP is in the double digits, and because your health pool is so small, getting it back up to the 90% threshold for one-shot protection becomes trivial. Getting 2 or 3 crits with a couple sites means you're basically full HP already. So that is the true power of one-shot protection. It's a cool mechanic on its own, except when you have a frost relic and go next to an exploding clay pot, but its true power comes with Shaped Glass. Trust me, start stacking Shaped Glass and see its power come full force. Moving on, let's talk about some specific item interactions. First, some hidden ones. If you've been watching my content for a while, you're probably aware of these, but I'll cover them anyway because, again, I get these questions quite frequently. Number one, the first stack of both a Harvester's Scythe as well as a Predatory Instincts give an invisible plus 5% chance to crit. This bonus does not stack with multiple stacks of the same item, but it does add together for the unique ones. Basically, 2 scythes won't give 10% crit, but 1 scythe plus 1 predatory will. This is helpful to know when to stop printing crit glasses. I usually stop at 9 stacks of glasses because of this functionality. The chance that you will find 9 glasses before you get a single scythe and predatory is very low, so you can count on having this extra 10% crit in most situations. Number two, similar to the crit combo, the double band combo also have a hidden effect. So long as you have at least one of each band, if one band hits the 8% chance to proc, the other band will always proc with it, regardless of its 8% chance. Now, it doesn't quite double the odds to a 16% chance to proc, but it comes pretty close. I believe the actual math puts the chance at like 15.4 or something like that. Regardless, this is an extremely powerful combo and definitely should be a goal at all points in a run, but especially in your first loop. If you can get double bands in your first loop, your overall damage output will skyrocket and you will kill any and everything with ease. And finally, here with number 3, the 57 leaf clover, just the item in general. I still get quite a few questions on how it works, so for you newer players, here is the power of the clover. If something has a chance to happen and does not happen, the clover will re-roll that chance. There are 2 exceptions here. Number 1, it only affects your items, so things such as random loot drops from chests or interacting with chance shrines are unaffected. Number 2, it does not affect teddy bears. That would be kind of broken. But for everything else, whether it's your crit or your proc chance, if you get an undesirable result, the clover will re-roll that result. I just had to include the clover here because both the combos we just talked about become very powerful if you manage to pick up a clover. And those are just 2 examples. Literally every item that has a chance to proc is affected by clover, making it easily the best item in the game. If you see a clover in the Lunar Bazaar, or if you're stupidly lucky, get a clover printer, always print as many as possible. No questions asked. Finally, the last topic I want to hit is the God Run. No doubt you've seen plenty of videos here on YouTube or pictures on Reddit or Discord advertising the God Run, crazy run, absolute bonkers gameplay, true expert gaming overloads only, or something like that. But no, really, what is the God Run? Well, in short, it's subjective. A lot of people think simply the amount of time you've been in a run and or the number of stages you completed are the main factors. As in, a run that is at stage 40 is automatically better than a run that is at stage 20 because 40 is higher than 20. I don't agree with that sentiment because once you get to the point of one-shotting everything, which is my definition of a God Run, it doesn't matter how much longer you go. So long as you don't literally go AFK for 10 seconds or choose to quit your run, you will continue to grow in power and continue one-shotting everything. So to me, the time factor is irrelevant past like the 90-minute mark. Here's my definition of a God Run. Again, remember this is subjective and shouldn't be taken too literally. If you're around the 90-minute mark, could be a few minutes before or after, it doesn't matter, and are clearing the entire screen with little to no chance of death, you probably have a God Run. Now, having no chances of death means in 99% of situations, you are just killing everything before it has a chance to even attack you. After all, the best defense is a good offense. This is why time played or stages completed is irrelevant to me because it's literally just a test of endurance past that point, nothing else. If you're killing stuff in the blink of an eye around 90 minutes, your gameplay loop is as follows. Get to a new stage. Run around and kill everything by simply looking in their general direction. Activate the teleporter. Kill the boss the moment it spawns. Wait 90 seconds because you have to. Move on to the next stage and repeat. Nothing will change this gameplay loop for the worse if you have it online by like the third loop. Obviously, getting a double band combo or something on stage 1 means you're basically doing the exact things I just described, but doesn't classify as a God Run because it's stage 1. This is why, again, so long as you are around 90 minutes into a run, if you're killing stuff instantly, not really doing anything else but opening chests, activating teleporter, etc., you probably have a God Run. Now that the run is defined, how do you get one? Well, again, it depends. It does take some RNG being on your side, but it's definitely not impossible to do on a regular basis, especially with our good friend, Mr. Lunar Coin. Talking about lunar coins is honestly an entirely different video, but the main point is the big three: Shaped Glass, Gesture, and Tonic. They are very powerful lunar items, with Gesture literally requiring no combo or specific items to make work, compared to Glass and Tonic, which require some specific circumstances to be in place. Not to mention the fact that you can go to a blue portal pretty much whenever you feel like it, and thus have access to these lunar items, as well as printing potentially run-breaking greens and reds, makes Mr. Lunar Coin quite the powerhouse. Again, I'll address these in a separate video, but really that's all it takes, man. Some lunar coins and hopping into blue portals you either get as random spawns or more frequently activated by a Newt altar. As soon as you get 1 or 2 Shaped Glass or Gesture combined with things like Clovers, Soulbound Catalyst, Capped Crit, Double Bands, and more, you'll start to see your God Run take off. However, just getting the items doesn't mean you're done. You've got to know how to use them, basically how to not die. And that is a topic I cover in depth in my monsoon guide, as well as my other tips and tricks video that I put out. Links to both are below. But if those videos don't suit your fancy and you'd rather watch me play in real time and ask me some questions that I can answer directly, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming, where I'm currently doing a challenge of getting a God Run on every single character. So far, I've done 3 out of the 7, and each God Run has been within the first 2 runs. So if you want to soak in some of my expert elite gaming overlord gamer fuel, come join the stream. Also consider joining our Discord server, where I always announce when I go live on Twitch or upload a new video here on YouTube. If you want a place to talk Risk of Rain 2 or play with others, and especially get those notifications, our Discord server is the best place to be. Links to both my Twitch and our server are down below. Thank you for watching.